Oh, welcome to Stop Shitting All Over Yourself, the podcast where you get to stop feeling guilty for not doing the things that you don't really want to be doing anyway. I'm Vanessa Konecki, your host, and I am trying to remember if Christy sends out the text for this I forget. I know that I'm just going to pretend that she does. I'm going to pretend that she does because usually I send it, and then okay, after. Okay, so, what is your call? I'm live right now. Okay, so sister needs help, and I needed to just tell her that I would, help her afterwards. Okay, so, let's find this. All right, so, and then Christy is sending the text message. I'm gonna ask her just to be sure. You're sending the text, right? One day she's going to not get a message from me asking her about this, and she's going to be like, she's literally, hell is going to freeze. She'll be like, oh my God, hell froze over. I cannot believe this. I believe, though, I can also check by just going into the community thing and seeing there. We're working on making the system a little bit easier now that we're getting there. We're getting there. Baby steps, baby steps. Okay. Oh, wow. I have so many text messages from people that I never saw. Whoa, so many text messages from people. I'm going to have to go look through my text messages here. My goodness. Okay. Christy's got it. Yeah, I knew she did. This is not her. This is all on me because I send it and then she sends it and she's like, I told you I would send it. So I am actually trying to get better at not double sending it. So my checking on this was so that I would not duplicate work. All right. Hello. Okay, here we are. So it is the holiday season and it is hot in here right now. And you are likely feeling very, very overwhelmed by all the things that you need to do to both take care of Christmas for your family and also do the things for your business, like doing whatever big events you have going on, getting your extra sales, wrapping up for the year, planning for next year. There's a lot of things that you have going on right now, both in your business and in your personal life. And if you're like me, well, not like me, but like I was several years ago, or you are like most of my clients, then chances are you're feeling very overwhelmed and not sure how you're going to get through it all. This podcast that I'm doing today is actually not going to be about how to do all the things during Christmas time. In fact, what I'm going to approach, the way that I'm going to approach it today is actually something I've been thinking about for a while. And it's a really important conversation that all of us need to have with ourselves or with somebody about our businesses, specifically about how we use the holidays to boost our sales. Because a lot of the reasons why this pressure comes in and we feel this intense need to sell, get through things, do the big holidays is because... Sorry, I have allergies. Is because this is a big holiday. This is a big time of year. This is where most of the sales happen. It is the biggest selling time of the year. It's where people spend the most amount of money. And as business owners, we don't want to lose the opportunity to make all this money, right? So there's an enormous amount of pressure on us to show up as business owners. And then at the same time, there's an enormous amount of pressure for you to show up as a mom and as a caregiver for Christmas. We have a lot of psychic responsibilities as women, because there is a belief around what the holidays is supposed to be like, right? Like, just if you close your eyes and you just imagine this holiday, what you think it's supposed to be like, very Dickens-esque holidays, the things that we do now that we have modified and adapted and updated and changed for our own lives are still adaptations of that Dickens type Christmas holiday. And fun fact, this whole Dickensy type holiday thing that we all celebrate and this idea of like a white Christmas and all of those things, this was really immortalized by Charles Dickens back in the, I believe it was the 18th century, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe a little bit later. But we have this belief that this is what we're supposed to do for Christmas. And that's a lot of pressure because guess who it is that needs to do all those things? It's mom, right? So when you have all of those pressures, it's hard, honestly, to think straight because you're just doing a lot of things. You're just trying to get stuff off the list. And it's just hard to actually be thoughtful and methodical and intentional about the things that you're doing for your business because, honestly, you're just trying to get things done. So I wanted to take this time today to pause and really think about how you're approaching the holiday season and how you approach specials and big sale events in your business because the way in which we approach these things in our businesses, almost all of us, is the way in which we approach it is the reason why we're constantly stuck in this Christmas holiday cycle. And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't actually have to be that way. If you approach your business from a different perspective, you can actually have a completely different holiday season that is actually more lucrative, makes you more money, you have more free time, you feel better about yourself, you feel like you're the badass mom who's setting up the Dickens-esque Christmas because you don't have to worry about whether you're doing your business right, whether you're doing your family time right, because you've already planned this stuff out in advance. I'll be really honest with you, it's too late for you to plan that out for right now. Like, you're not going to be able to plan for a very calm, peaceful Christmas holiday season right at this moment because you're already in the holiday season. However, you can mitigate what you've already done to like bring it down a notch, for sure. You can bring it down a notch. And you can also use this time, and this is why I'm actually talking about this right now, as a moment to reflect upon what it is that you're doing. Identify, you know what, I don't like this, I don't like this, I like this, I want to keep this, I don't want to keep that, and really start to think about those things for next year. So that when you are, so that when next year comes around and you're planning for next year, you in advance are ready for it. Good morning, good morning. Hello, Sophia. Hello, Emily. Good to see you. And Christy and Dawn and Haley. I have missed you guys. So welcome, welcome. I want to remind you that this is a public podcast. So this is the live recording of the public podcast. Stop shitting all over yourself. So you can share this with any of your friends. This is not inside the Social Strategy Squad. Okay, so here's how this works. What I tend to do is I'm going to basically go, boop, action. I'm going to start recording. Hi, Laura. So good to see you. Hello, hello. You know what? I may actually move the chat to over here. Because I think, yeah, there we go. I'll move it to over here. That works better, I think. There we go. There we go. Oh, you know what? I think it also needs to move down a bit. This is not my office. All right, there we go. Let's move that down a bit. There we go. Okay. Thanks, Laura. There you go. You gave me the idea. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to basically go live with the podcast. And then while I'm recording, I don't actually look at the comments or talk about anything at all. But I really want to encourage you. Please questions, share your comments, do whatever. Have your conversations amongst yourselves. You don't have to be riveted to my every word. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves about things that come up or the questions that you have or ideas or whatever. When I'm done, I'll come back to this, and then we'll have a conversation about what it is that we just discussed. This is a really great way for you to get some excuse me, thank you. This is a really great way for you to get some coaching about specific issues. Like, we're only going to coach on these specific issues, but it's a really great way to massage out some of the things that might be holding you back. Okay. So my allergies today are like through the roof. So we're probably going to expect that there's going to be some, like muting and blowing my nose and whatnot, but I'll try to do that off the thingy so that you don't have to, edit it. Oh my God, for heaven's sakes. I am like all over the place. Oh my God, Laura. I'm still thinking of Laura there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I really like my new background. Like, I'm just saying, I just got to say, like, I finally got it set up and I really like it. I like how much space I have. I like the way it looks. The only thing I need to do is paint these. I don't like the color on these. I want to paint them black and then do like designs on them, maybe similar designs to like this, right? This design, like, but do it in like gold or something. We'll see. I'm excited by it. I'm excited. Okay. I want to click into the multi-stream. Alrighty. Oh, you know what? LaFern. Oh my God. So LaFern and I have been chatting with each other because, I've been feeling, and I think Katie and I have been chatting with each other about this too. Like, I feel really good physically. Like, my body feels good. Pain is good. Everything's good. But there's something off. It's almost as if, you know how, like, when your tracking was off on your VHS in the old days where you'd see, like, one color of a person, like, so, like, the red, blue, green was separated, and then you'd see the overlay, and then they would be a little bit offset, and then, like, the third color would be a little bit offset, so you'd see, like, three of the person, but they'd be, like, right offset to each other. That's how I feel right now. I feel physically I'm okay. Nothing's wrong physically. but psychically and in somewhere in my person, the thing that I call Manessa, which I'm saying that because it's not my body, it's something else. I mean, I can feel it a little bit. I know I sound like a fucking crazy person. You guys, if you know what I'm talking about, please tell me. Like, LaFern, I know you're with me because you and I have been talking about this. So anybody else who is feeling off a little bit, and we've been trying to figure out what it is, because it's not like, when it's usually something like that where we don't feel it physically, we feel it like psychically in our psychic brains. There's a crew of people like LaFern that I talk to that were like, okay, yeah, it's the Mercury in the retrograde, it's the this. And just this morning, the full moon, Jenna told me that it's the full moon, there's stuff happening right now, and I'm like, okay, that at least helps, because I'm very cyclical. I work within the cycle of the moon. What's great is the moon is right outside my bedroom at night now, and so I can like start to really pay attention to the moon and the moon cycles, and I'm really curious to see how that impacts me. Full moon is this Sunday. Oh my God. There's a rising energy. Yes. Oh my God. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what I've been feeling these days. And so I'm just kind of working that out. Today, though, on a side note, before I get going, I'm going to the Mashpee Wampanoag Museum. So I'm feeling a very heightened sense of, I pulled a card today, and the card today said, it was a camel, and it said that I need to go on a pilgrimage. And I knew I was going to the museum today. And so I was like, wow, that is so, so, so good. So I'm going today to like, to kind of, I don't know what I'm actually going to do, but I'm going to help center myself. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Oh my God, that's not going to be fun doing a 3-day full moon. Okay, so I'm doing this because I just realized that my what's it called? My camera is right on the people's faces, names. Oh my God, words. It's cameras right on words, so I can't see them. Cannot speak English. Words are hard, everybody. Words are hard. Okay, let's get this show on the road, Jack, because we have got lots of things to talk about today. Okay, so talk amongst yourselves. This computer is fucking annoying me. It is so loud that you can hear it literally. Okay, so we're just going to assume, I'm going to actually say this at the beginning of the podcast, that we're in a new space and that there might be some weird stuff going on. We'll work it out as we go through things. Okay. All right, ready? Let's get this show on the road, Jack. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Stop Shooting All Over. Okay, we're going to start again because I screwed that up. Hold on. I had to move my camera and then I got screwed up. Okay, we're going to do it. Okay. Okay. For fuck's sake, why is this my life? Okay. Oh, my mouse is broken now. Oh my God. Does anybody else feel like I am probably the most technologically like cursed person on the planet? Just as an aside. Okay, here we go, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Stop Shooting All Over Yourself podcast. This is the place where you come to stop feeling guilty about not doing the things that you probably don't need to be doing for your business anyway. I am Vanessa Konecki, your host. I am a business overwhelm coach and an optimization expert, and my whole purpose in life is to help you enjoy the process of running a business more, so you can make more money, so you can have more freedom, so you can enjoy your life more, right? That's why we all started our businesses in the first place. It is the holiday season, which means you are probably in the throes of some holiday special event, or you have not done a holiday special event and you're feeling really guilty and bad that you're not taking advantage of this very, very powerful time of the year. This is a really emotionally charged time of year for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. For us specifically, it's because we're business owners and you're parents, right? I'm not a parent, but I'm a puppy parent. They're not expecting presents, but I know that your kids are. And there's just a lot of pressure that we all deal with to make the holiday season special for our families, while at the same time making it special for our businesses. This is something that I struggled with for many years while I was a retailer. And when I started my coaching business, I made some very specific decisions about how I wanted to engage with the holiday season and why I wanted to do that. And I want to share some of that with you today, in the hopes that it will help you to see that there might be different ways of approaching the holiday season. Maybe it will give you some ideas for how you might be able to optimize your holiday season. Or you might decide after hearing this that you're doing it the exact right way that you want to do it, and you're just going to double down and keep going in that direction. There's no real wrong answers here. The most important thing for this particular podcast is to introduce you to a different way of approaching business and finances in general to see if maybe it's something that will work for you and help alleviate some of your anxiety. Now, this all started because for years we've been joking about how much earlier Christmas comes every year, right? Every year as business owners, or even as like not business owners, we talk about this. It's like, I remember when it was Thanksgiving, it's like, okay, right after Thanksgiving, all the Christmas stuff comes out. Yay. Then it was right before Thanksgiving. And then suddenly it was during October. And then I started seeing stuff for Christmas in July, and you're just like, oh my God, like, are we just going to be doing Christmas all year round? Now, like, what is happening? There is a reason why we do this, right? Why retailers do this, why businesses do this. First, it's actually a very practical reason, which is that the holiday colors, the green and red, they actually get people to spend more money. It is known that that's a money lubricant. People spend more money when they see those colors. So the sooner you can get those colors in, the better it is, because the faster people will spend money and the more people will spend money. Because number two is that once people start spending money for the holiday season, once people feel like they are in holiday mode, then they are more than willing to spend more money than they would usually. So they're actually a lot more loose with their money. And because it's a holiday season, it's a season of giving. So it's a lot easier to get people to part from their hard-earned dollars just because it's the holiday season. And the sooner that you can get people thinking about the holidays, the earlier they'll start spending, right? So the earlier their wallets will be lubed up and they'll start spending, right? Now, most business owners who are just starting out, or who came from a direct sales world, tend to approach business from a month-to-month basis. Okay, so this is a second aspect on this, is we tend to approach business from a month-to-month basis. So we're like, I made, I need to make, $5,000 a month. And you start with like, okay, at the beginning of the month, January 1st, I have to make $5,000. I'm starting at a zero. No matter what you make in January, whether you make 5,000 or 10,000 or 3,000, when you start in February, you're starting at zero again, and you've got to make 5,000. And then in March, zero again and 5,000. And it doesn't actually matter what you made during the course of that month, whether you made 3,000 or 10,000, your goal for every month is set at 5,000. So we live on a month-to-month type of selling and a month-to-month type of income. Now, it makes a lot of sense that you would organize your business this way because, one, before you started your business, chances are you were living paycheck to paycheck, which means that you're already thinking in that method, in this finite one bucket of money, use it, end it, use it up, then get another bucket of money, use it, finish it, another bucket of money. So we're used to thinking in that way already. The other reason why it's easier to think of it that way is because that's how regular jobs are set up. So you go your regular job, they pay you once a week, once a month, once every other week, whatever it is, but you're getting paid at a very specific time frame, and then you start again the following week, and then you start again the following week. Every week you're just banking hours so that now you get your check the following week, and it's sort of that's just how it's set up. So when you move into your own business, it just makes sense to think about it that way. I'm working the hours this month, and then I get this, and then I get then my goal for that is $5,000 or whatever it is that I actually get is, what I get. And then I start again the next month, and then I start again the next month. It's just the way in which our minds have been programmed for decades, if not generations, right? Now, those two reasons are the reasons why we approach it that way. And then, of course, if you're in direct sales, then each month you have a new incentive to meet, right? So each month you'll have an incentive to meet so that if you meet this incentive for X number of months, then you will you'll get to go on a cruise or a trip or whatever it is that they offer you, right? So once again, you're thinking of it on a month-to-month basis. The thing is that even though for tracking purposes, like you want to have a financial spreadsheet system that is looking, Jan, Feb, March income, Jan, Feb, March expenses, Jan, Feb, March margins, you obviously want to do that on a month-to-month basis. But you cannot approach the way you plan your business, and you cannot approach the way you plan for spending your money and the way you plan for growing your business from that month-to-month approach. That is actually what keeps you locked in this very small box of not being able to create that freedom, because that is a boxed approach. January is a box, February is a box, March is a box, and once the box is done, you're putting it away and you're opening up the next box. In order to truly have a business that gives you freedom, you have to think about your business from a completely different perspective, and that's the perspective of one large box of a year, right? One large box of a year with a plan for the year where you think of it as a larger scale endeavor. But most of us are so busy thinking about the money that we need now, the thing that we need to do now, the sale that we need to do ASAP, like the holiday season is upon us, that we don't think about it in this long-term perspective. And so as a result, we're constantly chasing money month after month after month, right? So because when you get money each month, right? So when you think about it month after month, so let's say we start with January, right? So January, you make $5,000. When you think about your months in that way, you think about it in terms of spending it down to zero. So if you make 5,000 in January, then you're going to spend that 5,000 down to zero. So let's say, for example, your goal was to do $5,000. Okay, so I'm going to pick these numbers because they're easy for me, and math is actually very, very hard for me. I really struggle with it, so I'm picking numbers that are easy. Please forgive me if my math is not totally exactly what it's supposed to be. So let's say, for example, your goal is to do $5,000 a month every month. Okay, so in January, okay, you do $3,000 a month. Okay, that means you're $2,000 under what it is that you would have expected. Okay, so because you're $2,000 under what you would have expected, you now are like, oh, now I need to make more money the following month. Okay, and so now you're like, oh my goodness, now I need to make $7,000 the next month. Okay, now let's flip it and say in January, let's say that you wanted to make 5, but you made 10. Okay. Now, what most people do when they get that 10, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing that I made 10,000. We're super, super excited. The first thing that we do is we assume that we're going to make $10,000 every month. So next month I'll make 10,000. It's going to be this, and then I'm going to make 10,000 to be that. And so we immediately assume that we're going to make the $10,000 every month, and we assume that's our new baseline. Okay. So the first thing that we do is we spend all that money. We pay for all of our bills. We take care of paying off credit card debt. And so we start paying all of this money out and taking big chunks. So instead of, let's say your credit card payment is like $200 a month, instead of paying $200, you pay like the full 5,000 extra that you got to like bring it down now so that your payment's only like $100 a month or whatever it is. But basically you spend all of that money so that when you start February, you just made 10 grand in January, 5 grand more than you were expecting, but you're still starting February at zero. Okay. So now you're starting feeling badly, even though you made $10,000 the prior month. Now, if you generally tend to make, let's say, I'm assuming that the $10,000 was like a bonus. It was like a perk, right? Because what we're really talking about here is creating stability, right? Because the way that you actually want to do it is you say, okay, I made $10,000 in January. 5,000 is going to come to me because that's what I needed to take care of all my bills and do all the things that I needed to do that's my goal. So I'm going to take that 5,000 out. I'm going to leave that other 5,000 in my bank account. Okay. I'm leaving it in my bank account. I'm not doing anything with it. It becomes a buffer for me, right? Now, when February comes, okay, so February comes and you make 5,000, great. You still have a $5,000 buffer. Okay. March comes, still have a $5,000 buffer. June comes, July comes, August comes, and you only make 2,000. Okay. You only make 2,000. When you get to June and you have that $5,000 buffer and you make $2,000 in June, that $3,000 buffer that you've been holding on to since January is now what's going to pay your bills in June. Okay. This is really important. We're going to talk a little bit more about why this is so important, but this is important to understand that if you think of your money on a month-to-month basis, you tend not to save a buffer amount and you tend to spend it all down to zero and then start again the next month and then start again the next month. Now, if you do it this way, you are literally setting yourself up to feel like shit from the first day of every month because you're starting at a deficit. You're starting at zero, right? Now, what ends up happening then is that, and you're always starting from the bottom of the barrel, and now you climb yourself out. It doesn't matter what you made, whether it was a really, really great month or a mediocre month, or you hit your goals. You're still starting the next month from a deficit, so you're starting it feeling badly, which means you're going to start it performing poorly because the psychology of feeling badly is what causes you to not do as well because your audience can pick up on that, right? So then what happens, because of the way that we live, right? I'm constantly living from month to month. Then when these big events happen in the year, right, they become your be all end all. They become the things that you use to save your business. Okay. You use that to pay off the debt that's how we're using it right now because most of us are doing month to month and spending it down to zero. So we're getting rid of as much as we can. And most people are also not making over what they want to make. So they're spending down to zero everything they make because they're not able to get over their goal amount, right? So now you're living in a chaotic space. I just described something that is incredibly chaotic, right? And now this one event becomes the thing that saves your business and it pays off your debt. And all of this happened because of the perspective that you're approaching your business from. You're approaching it from month to month basis, and that creates this instability and this chaos because you have these once or twice a year things that are really, really big and they give you these huge results, but you have to use that to pay off all of the stuff that you didn't get done this year. So you right down into the hole again, and then you have to wait for another really big event, or you have to come up with something that's going to be a really big event to get that boost again, right? So now what's happened is you've created a roller coaster of your business. No one wants to live on a business roller coaster. None of us started our businesses for a business roller coaster. You likely started your business to create freedom and create wealth for you and your family so that you didn't have to go to work every day, and slave away for somebody else's business, that you're doing something for your family and for your future, but you can't seem to get that leg up. That leg that you're having trouble getting up, you're having trouble getting it up because you're approaching your business from a month-to-month basis. I have not met anyone who comes to this realization on their own. Unless the only people I know who know these kinds of things on their own are people who are already accountants. They've already run a business. They've already had this experience and they're bringing it into the business that they have right now, myself included. So for me, for years I ran businesses, I did all these things, but having run a business myself now, I now understand many businesses and other people's businesses as well. I have seen that the trends are what the trends are, and you don't get to say, right, whether the holidays are going to be a big time or whether July is going to be a low time. That's actually decided by the trends in the market. You can only respond to those trends in the market. And for many of us, we tend to respond to those trends by trying to force them to not be true, right? So for example, the J months are traditionally slow months for retail. And so what a lot of people do before they find me is they will try to sell more, double down, market more. They will exhaust themselves in the J months to try to force more sales for them to hit these goals. Whereas really what you need to be doing in the J months or the slow months is not doing any of those things, using your buffer to pay for those months. And then during those months, you focus on planning for your big holiday seasons, planning for your big events, planning for your big sales. And now you're planning your year out in advance. So you get your big money during these big holiday events that you then use as your buffer for the months that are going to be slow. And what that does is it creates a stability within your business so that you're not living on a roller coaster, so that you're not spending all your money at once, so that you are actually creating a capital. You're creating capital for your business. It's called operating capital, and every business needs to have one. And if you don't have operating capital, chances are that you're using your credit card. If you're using your credit card, then you're full of anxiety, right? So these are the kinds of things that will help to reduce that anxiety and increase your capital and your buffer, right? So now, when I talk about buffers, this is often when people say things to me like, oh man, I wish I could have a buffer, or oh my God, I wish I could think of that way where I could have a buffer. Right now, I'm just trying to pay my bills. Without fail, anytime I've ever had a conversation about creating a buffer in this way, the conversation eventually moves to this space where it's like, yes, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I wish that I could think that way. I just can't think that way right now because I just need to make money to eat, right? And I get it, absolutely, because I've been in that exact same position where I realized this. Okay, so I realized this exact same thing, because whether you need the money now or you don't need the money now, it's not relevant. This is still how you run a successful business. Your ability to do it at this moment or not doesn't actually make a difference if that's the way that it's done, right? So, and I discovered that same thing for myself, and I was devastated because I thought, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to create this buffer when when I'm trying to just pay off bills, right? And so I want you to look back at your business, okay? So, and this is the important thing, okay? Because like in that moment, it can be very scary. But when you think about where your business is right now, and I want you to think about where your business was a year ago, 2 years ago, and I want you to think about how long you have been saying, after next month, I'll have that stable business where I don't have to worry about income. How long have you been saying next month will be the month that I get my feet under me and then we'll start, right? You've probably said it a number of times. I know I said it many, many times before I learned this lesson and before I started to really understand how this impacts my life and how I was constructing an infrastructure that kept me locked in that space, okay? You've been locked in this space for a long time anyway. And you will continue to be locked in that space of chasing sales, getting sales, chasing sales, getting sales, having really good months, having really bad months, and feeling like you're caught up and stuck on that roller coaster. Okay, you're on that whether you want to be on it or not. And what I'm saying to you right now doesn't change the fact that you're on it. What I'm saying to you right now is your way off of it. It is your way off of that roller coaster. Okay, so that's the most important thing, is that the roller coaster that you're feeling is this is your way off. Because sometimes the key is that when you have these big months, they're great months, but they don't last because all big highs are followed by crashes. And they're followed by crashes because the people who just spent all that money on you, they need to replenish their coffers so that they can spend money with you later, right? So they just don't have that money. So there's an entire engine that goes as a result of the way that you approach your business. It doesn't just impact you. It impacts your customers. It impacts how they shop, the way that they use their money with you. Whether they come to your business page or your group or your live or not is all predicated on how you approach your business in the first place. And are you approaching it from this place of stability where you are making enough money every month to where you're good, right? And that's really the key. So today, what I'm sharing about is the fact that you don't need to do these big highs, big lows, that kind of thing. But in order for you to actually have the stable business, that is going to actually require a second set of steps. So what I want you to do, if you want to just get a jump start, is go to www.socialstrategysquad.com and download the Roadmap to Success guidebook. And that will give you the guidebook for how you actually build that sustainable business so that that is your sustainable business. And then these holiday events that you have and these big special events, those don't become things that save your business. Those become things that create even bigger buffers. They create surpluses. They give you a windfall of money, right? So extra money that you can then use to, refill your buffer, that you can then use to do more fun, exciting things. And it really changes the way you deal with your business, because now most of your money is fun money. Most of your money is not money that you're using to offset expenses that you had before. Now, the key, of course, to implementing this change is that recognizing that your business goes on for the full year. Okay. Your business goes from January to December every year. Okay. And each year is very, very predictable. Okay. Even within COVID, each year has been very predictable. For example, if you're in retail, you know that the J months are going to be bad for you. January, June, July, they're going to be tough for you. If you are a mom as a business owner, then you know that May and August are going to be challenging for you personally, because you're going to be dealing with kids coming out of school, kids going into school, things like that. There are things that you can predict every year without fail because they happen every year. I want you to really think about those things. That's going to be sort of your homework from this podcast, is really thinking about what your prior years have looked like. Because once you know what your bad months are, then you can plan for your good months, right? Then you can plan for during your good months, you can use that money and you're like, okay, I made 10 grand in December. I'm just not going to spend it all. I'll pay for my bills in December and then I'll just save the rest because I know January is going to suck. And so I'm going to have that money in January. And then in January, I'm going to workshop what I'm going to be doing for Feb, March, and April. I'll get all of those things ready, not worry about overselling in Jan because I know that Jan's going to be a bad month. It's fine. I'll just sell what I can, make what I can, and just deal with the buffer. But I know that I'll have a really good February, March, and April because I spent all of January planning for it, rather than constantly, I have something to do in January, I'm going to plan for it January. I've got to do something in February, got to plan for it today. I got something to do next week, I'm going to plan for it now. You're not planning in far enough in advance to where you can actually take advantage of the momentum of what's happening, of holidays, of things like that. You're really more just responding to the things that are happening around you. And as long as you're just responding and reacting, it's going to be really hard to create wealth because you're making pennies instead of thousands of dollars, right? So call those your planning months, right? There's a lot of administrative work in your business that doesn't need to get done all at once. It doesn't need to get done right now. This is stuff that you can save for June, for Jan. In January is a good time for you to collect all of your finances and start getting ready for tax season, right? Because January is a dead month. Instead of trying to double, triple, quadruple your work effort to just get half of like what you were making anyway, focus instead on the things that are not related to selling, that need to get done to keep your business going. Plan, use those your planning months. And then that way, when you're doing the months where you're selling, you don't have to worry because you know all this other stuff is taken care of, right? Now, I don't do big events anymore. I used to do big events. I don't do big events anymore. At least I don't do them at the traditional times of the year. And for me, it's for two reasons. One is that I want to run a business that is stable and provides for me all year long. I don't want to have to be anxious about my sales at the end of the year. I have anxiety. I don't want to amplify my anxiety by putting myself in a position where I know I'm going to amplify my anxiety. And I realized after a couple of years of doing these big sales at the end of the year that I was always so anxious at the end of the year. I hated the end of the year. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, this does not bring me joy. It's not necessary. I can make money in other ways. There's other things that I can do. And the way that I can do that is by having a more stable business throughout the year, right? So now I make my money throughout the year. So I don't need to do a really big event at the end of the year because I'm already making the money that I need. The big events, if I want to do one, I can. and it'll be a great bonus and a great buffer and a great thing for, whoever buys in, even me, right? It's going to be great, but I don't have to. And that takes a lot of the pressure off, because now I can simply do something because I want to do it, not because I feel this desperate need to make money and I'm trying to find a way to get a little bit of extra money in my bank account. Okay. So I may do a flash sale here or there, but the key for me is remembering what I'm actually trying to do. Okay. What am I, Manessa Konecki, actually trying to do? And what I'm trying to do, my personal goal, is I want to live my happiest life, where I get up in the morning and I do what I want. I have my breakfast. I sit out and I look at the ocean. I play with my dogs. I do whatever I want to. I start work when I choose to. Now, I start work every day at 9, but that's my choice. I've made that part of my routine, right? So it's not saying that I just do whatever I want. I actually have a very specific routine, but I want it to be my routine that I selected, that I chose. Okay. So now I start working. Okay. I want to serve the people that I want to serve without being anxious about it. I just want I want my whole soul to be about serving, and just, that's it. That's what I want. I don't want to have fear of my job or anxiety. I don't want to be helping you while at the same time worrying about money, because how can I help you that way, right? So these are the things that are very important to me, right? I want to watch my shows when I want to. I want to feel healthy. If I'm not well and I have a flare, I just want to not work and lay on the couch and watch Star Trek, right? These are the things that are important to me. Okay, that's how I want to live my life. And in order for me to do that, right? So for me, I'm going to structure my life so that I have as well balanced a year. Every day is as routine as it possibly can be. That's my goal, is to make every day as routine as it possibly can be. And it's only out of routine by choice. Okay, that's my goal. My coach, Rebecca Tracy, has a different goal. Her goal is that she doesn't want to sell all year long. She doesn't want to have to deal with all these things. So she does 2 big launches once a year, huge launches for like 200-300 grand. And she basically makes her money for her entire courses, for her entire year, for all of her business in the 2 launches. And then the rest of the year, she just does her thing, whatever she wants. So she does it that way, because for her, she wants to be able to travel, go hiking, and go to like the Grand Canyon and climb the mountains and be without the internet and be without like, she wants to live a different kind of life. And she wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing, right? She wouldn't be able to do my job here and live that kind of life, but that's not the life she wants to live. She wants that kind of life. So for her, she's built her infrastructure around exactly when she wants to sell and when she wants to have her time off. Okay. There is more than one way to skin a cat. But the solution, okay, it isn't found in making of the money. It's what you do with the money once you get it. Because the making of the money, if you put the infrastructure in place from the Roadmap to Success guidebook, the money will come. I guarantee it. If you have a stable system in your business that you are following day to day, the money will come. If you're planning for your business and for your events strategically throughout the year, the money will come. Okay, all of the money will come. That much is a given if you keep following the path and taking intentional decisions in the furtherance of progressing your business. The thing that you will make the choice about is about what to do with that money when you get it. And that is going to decide whether you're going to be stable or not stable. When you get that money, what are you doing with it? Are you spending it? Are you putting it in savings? What is happening with it? Now, it's, again, this is not about judging people for spending money. Like, not at all. I spend the money. When money comes in, I spend it. Not a problem. This is not about judging you for spending money. All it's about is how you're thinking about the money as you're spending it and the way that you're approaching it. That's it. Your approach, once it's changed, the rest and the actions and all those things will come with it, because you'll ask the questions. You'll be like, how do I do this? What do I do? And then it's just operationalizing it. How do I do this on a day-to-day basis? And I'll give you some direction for that after this. But the real key is actually your approach. Okay. You need to think into the future, into what you're paying for in the coming months, right? And you need to have that buffer in your business. And it doesn't start all at once. I had no buffer when I started. So I want you to know, I know that it doesn't start all at once. You don't just start out with a buffer. And right now I have a very low buffer. Full disclosure, my buffer is the lowest it has been in years, because when we bought this house, we needed a lot of cash to put down. And so we just pulled all buffer cash out. I was like, pull it out, take all the buffer cash out, right? Just take all. And for me, that is a huge, like, I don't do that. I do not do that. The buffer is sacrosanct, but I pulled it out. And so I am in a position now that I've not been in a couple of years, right? Where I'm like, oh, my buffer, right? It'll be fine. Why? Because I'm working, the money is coming. I will refill my buffer and we'll just move on, right? Because the system that I set up 3 years ago, it works. And when the system works, it automatically will replenish your money because you're already earning money because you've already put the things in place. The hard part is accepting that you've got to put the system in place and that you probably won't see results immediately because you're fixing a lot of the things that got messed up before. And usually people give up right in that time because it's just easier to do what you've done before and it's more familiar. Now, so the issue, so what I want you to really be thinking about is not whether you're going to do 1 or 2 big launches a year, right? I don't want you to be thinking of, oh my God, am I going to be selling basically, like, am I looking for something where I do 1 or 2 big launches a year, or am I trying to create stability over the course of the year? Am I doing it slow and steady? All of those things, right? Here are the things that I want you to be thinking about. These are your action items for your takeaways for this, okay? The first is know what it is that you want to do, okay? Are you going to do A, with the selling all year long? Are you going to do B, where you're having 2 big launches a year, or a little bit of both? The level of anxiety that you're going to feel is going to be proportional. If you do only 2 launches a year, I guarantee you your anxiety level is going to be extremely high twice a year for a few months. It's just going to be really, really intense. But the remaining 6 months will be super cool, right? If you do it all year long, your anxiety will be much lower throughout the year. But you will have to build in your free time around your regular day-to-day schedule, which if you have kids, usually that's the way you're going to do it anyway. The second thing is you got to be aware of your anxiety and the intensity that comes with choosing what you choose, right? What can you handle? That's important, okay? The second thing is you want to be aware of your finances and how they spread out over the course of the year, right? One, you aren't starting at 0 every month, but you also need to look to see what your expenses look like from year to year, right? So like I have all of my big expenses hit in January because that's when I have all of my annual subscriptions hitting. But the rest of the year, fairly low expenses. I don't have high expenses for my business at all for the rest of the year. But that first month of the year is like, oh my God, it just worked. Killer. Okay. What does your business look like year to year, month to month? Like, where are you spending money? What are your dead months? What are your active months? Really get to know what your business is like as a person. Like, think of it as a personality of its own. And that is going to help you determine when you want to spend your biggest efforts, right? When are you planning and when are you selling? All right. So here are this is the 3 things that I want you to really be thinking about. 4 things. 1, get really clear on what's important to you beyond the money and beyond your business. Okay. You've got to know what is important to you beyond the money and beyond your business. You didn't start your business because deep in your soul, you had this deep need to be a winner at business. Okay. That's not why you started your business. You started it because you had a very specific life in mind that you wanted to live. What does that life look like? I want you to write it out and I want you to be really specific. When do you get up? What time do you go to bed? What things do you do? Obviously, your day-to-day is not going to look exactly like that, but I want you to just give yourself the opportunity to live your dream life on a day-to-day basis. And I'm talking about your dream life right now. I'm not talking about the dream life where you're living in the Caribbean and not working at all. Right now, day-to-day, what do you want your life to look like, right? Because you're living this life now. Let's make it a happy one, okay? Second is you need to figure out what that life costs, okay? On a day-to-day basis, what does that life cost? My life costs, I think we decided my life costs $6,500, okay? So that's what I need to make. And if I add in all of the direct to success stuff, it costs about $8,500, right? So that is it. Then that's everything, okay? Like that's everything, okay? So all the things, that's what it costs. So if I know that that's what it costs, then that's all I need to be bringing in every month for me to just simply keep the baseline of my life. That's it. That's the baseline of my life. And you need to know what that dollar amount is so that you know what your buffer is going to be. If like anything above that becomes buffer, anything above that becomes debt payments, anything above that becomes retirement, right? That's what you're really working with is what you need and then what's above that. And then that's all you need to earn, right? Now, here's the thing. It's all you need to earn. And it doesn't really matter whether you're earning that money in 1 month or whether you're earning it in like over 6 months. So like, let's say I need $10,000 a month to live and I earn $200,000 every December, let's just say. Well, if I earn $200,000 every December, then guess what? I don't need to work the rest of the year because I've paid for everything all in December. Fabulous, right? Or I can just earn that month to month. It's depending on your business style, depending on your sales style, your structure, what your anxiety can handle, you can do it in many, many, many different ways. It's really more about understanding what your way is and really leaning into that, okay? And then lastly, go through your historical numbers. What months have traditionally been bad for you? Which ones have been good for you? Note those down. The ones that are historically bad, do not kill yourself, dude. They're going to be bad. It's fine, right? The ones that are good, how can you make them better? Work harder on making the good months better than you are on trying to make the bad months good. The good months are good because people want to spend money. So let them spend more money in those months, right? These are the things that will help you to completely change how you make money in your business. Because social media has made it so that pretty much anyone who wants to can run a business. And for the most part, we don't have any training on how to do that, right? How to run a business successfully. Truth be told, we all just figure it out as we go along, and we find coaches and where we can, which means our business acumen is developed by using a hodgepodge of ideas and beliefs from all kinds of rando people, most of which I am really sad to say are just really bad. Like, it's really bad. Most of the stuff that we know and we learned from business growing up is just bad. It's just bad business advice. It's not going to help you make money. It is just flat out wrong in some cases. And for me, I feel like the last 3 years has just been unlearning. And all of the people that I've been talking to over the last, people who are further along than me in the line or on the same space as I am, we're having these conversations. And the thing that we're most frustrated about is the realization that we've literally just had to unlearn all of this shit that we learned over the course of the years, because we were just taught things that don't make sense to use anymore, right? And in unlearning these things, we are starting to see why we weren't making money, just like you will and you are right now. And once you start to unravel those belief systems about money and business that you brought in with you, the opportunities become more apparent. Opportunities to take breaks, to make money in less time, to create a stable business without paying an arm and a leg and your firstborn child. Right now out there, right now at this very moment, you have a friend who is busy paying children and body parts for their businesses. Okay, they're just chopping off their arms and handing them to people for their businesses. And they do not have to. So please be sure to forward this podcast to them and tell them to come hang out with us. Give them the opportunity to feel the same hope and see the same success that you are by reviewing this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the podcast. And remember, what you are doing is enough. So stop shooting all over yourself. Alrighty, there we go. Oh my God, I lost all the chats. Did I lose everybody? Holy shit. I don't think I have any chat and no comments, none. It's like nobody is here. Okay, I know that's not true though. I know that's not true. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to go to Direct to Success and look at it there, because obviously I'm missing something. I mean, it's possible that I was just so brilliant that you were like, man, she's just so brilliant. I can't even say words. I can't even comment on it. Like, I can't, it's just not possible. I know how it is. It's tough. All right, hold on. I'm just joking. I'm just messing with you. Okay, let's finding the chat so that I can see what y'all are saying. Oh, good. Thank goodness I don't have a message from someone saying, hey, we can't hear you. We're here just listening. Oh my God. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Just listening and absorbing. Oh no, that's she's just so brilliant. I can't even say words. I can't even comment. Myself. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Just listening and absorbing. Oh no, that's just so brilliant. I can't even say words. I can't even comment. Here we go. It just keeps automatically muting itself. I do not know why. Just listening and absorbing. Oh no, that's just so brilliant. I can't say words. I can't even comment. Here we go. It just keeps automatically muting itself. So LaFern says, I realize that I can work on more mindless activities like physical things like putting up decorations, making candles, posting items for sale, cleaning rather than business related items that require mental energy. Yep, you just got it. Hi Tina, good to see you, dude. I don't have the energy right now. Hi Tina, good to see you, dude. I don't have the concentration needed to move those items forward in business. Yep. Hi Tina, good to see you. Hello cycle and full moon energy. So accepting the I don't have the concentration right now and then when my energy level improves in the coming week, I shift gears and hello cycle and full moon energy. Then I'll be able to focus. Exactly. How many voices? Wait a minute. I should have shift gears and hello cycle and full moon energy. Then I'll be able to focus. Exactly. There's chaos noise? How many voices? Wait a minute. I should. Chaos noise. Okay, we're back. Still to it. Oh, God. Man. Okay, the many voices of Manessa. I'm sorry. You were basically hearing me like I was some sort of godlike creature. I'm not a godlike creature. Obviously. I'm just somebody trying to make the internet work. Okay. Oh no. And you know what's funny is I muted myself. I muted it. I was like, why? Why is everybody saying there's chaos? I was like, no, there's no way. No way that there's a problem right now. No way, because I just muted it. Baby steps. We're getting better and better as we go. You know what it is? All right, so here's what I'll actually tell you what it is. What it is that if I have a guest on, I have to have my desktop audio on. And if I don't have a guest on, I have to have it off. And so that's actually the issue. Well, you know, I was really trying to give you guys a new experience. I felt like, you know, you got to shake it up a little bit, wake you up in the morning. You know, for some of you, it's really early. So, I mean, obviously you want to hear nothing but chaotic cacophonies of Manessa's voice first thing in the morning. That'll really wake you up. I'm sorry. God, nobody wants to wake up like that. Okay. Oh, Katie. Hey, dude. I'm thinking of you, my friend. I'm thinking of you, dude. All right. I got to go back now. Well, you know what I did get out of that is lots of comments. Yep, 2 launches a year. So Dawn, she only does 2 launches a year, and I remember when she showed me. No, those voices are all in my head. That's what my head sounds like, Tina. Um, so Dawn, yeah. So my coach only does 2 launches a year, and I remember when she showed us her finances. The first year she made 12,000. Second year she made I think 60. Third year she made 300, and then the numbers just started getting crazy. And I remember thinking to myself that was the way that I was supposed to do it, because that's how coaches did it. That's how Amy Porterfield does it. She does her twice a year launches. That I'll be honest, like I was like, I don't want to do it that way. Like, and I ultimately am doing it something similar, but like not the same, because I don't want that level of anxiety. And I think that's really what you want to be thinking about for yourself is like, what kind of anxiety do you want to live with, right? Because you get to decide what your day, what your life, what your business looks like. For a lot of us, we haven't decided what we want our life, day, business to look like, because we didn't know that we could, and we didn't know how to do that. The squad really helps with that, in terms of like, how do you build a business that then you get to fully control? That's what you learn in the squad, is what those modular pieces are. Because honestly, there's only 5. There's really not that many pieces to running a successful business. There's 5 actual practical steps that once you put those things together, you actually don't need to deal with them that much anymore. And then on a day-to-day basis, the level of work that you need to do on social and like marketing is minimal. The most work you need to do is really finding customers and getting them in, and then doing the work that you need to do. But for most of us, we actually spend almost all of our time and effort on the marketing piece, on coming up with ideas for what to sell, and on the actual trying to sell part. So we don't spend a lot of time on the nurturing the customers and finding new people, which is why we don't grow, because it's the finding new people and the nurturing customers that actually makes you the money, not the part where you're sitting there figuring things out, or like doing a post or whatever. It's this part of it that actually makes the rest of it work. So spending time on this is really what's key, but none of us ever get to that point because we're so busy building things, right? So you got to stop building. Like, you have to stop building. You've got to stop asking the questions about building, but you can't if nobody tells you how, like, here's the blueprint. This is what you build. Otherwise, you're basically sitting there with all of this construction material and no blueprint, and you're trying to build a house and just figure it out as you go, but you're not an architect, right? So it's like, how do I do this? And this is true for all of us. Someone has to be the architect, but you can't be an architect and the expert at your own business. And that's why I left LuLaRoe. That's why I didn't go back into selling any products or doing anything like that, because I realized that there are those who will do the selling, but someone has to show the way. And especially for people like us who are chronically ill, we just have different frameworks. We don't fit in any boxes. We are different from other people. However that difference manifests, it doesn't really matter. You just don't feel like you fit in. And for people like us, the way that everybody else does it just doesn't work. And we try and we try and we try, and we think it's something to do with us, and it's not. And that's why all of these things are so important, because this is sort of like the business coaching for the misfit, right? Like, if you don't fit in, this will help you. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. I do the buffer method with dollars, and it's very, very helpful with anxiety. It changed everything for me. It changed everything. So what I want for homework for you guys, like, I know this isn't really like a homeworky kind of thing, but I'm giving you the homework anyway. Do your homework. And if you do the homework and you message me back and tell me you did the homework, I will help you. I will give you another step to take, because I will always help people who are taking the steps on their own and send them in a different direction. Obviously, if you want help one-on-one with me, you've got to actually work with me, but, I will send you in the general right direction that you need to go. And here, go there. Because some of you guys, like, so for some things, I just want to be directed. For others, I need somebody to hold my hand. So for me, when I was putting together my infrastructure, I needed Rebecca Tracy to literally hold my hand through the entire process. I could never have done it by myself, not a chance in hell. But there are other things that I figure out on my own. So the infrastructure part is the one that I would usually recommend hiring someone for, just because that's the thing that will take the longest. It's the hardest. And once that's built, everything else you can kind of play around with. So your homework really is I want you to look at the history of your business. I want you to look, and don't look at it from a place of judgment, which historically you probably have. Don't look at it from a place of, oh my God, I didn't make this money, I failed. Like, don't look at it from the space of that. You want to look at it from the space of, like, you're a teacher, you're an academic, looking at these numbers, and you're trying to figure out what these numbers are telling you, okay? The numbers are going to tell you a story the same way that your spirituality tells you a story, that your customers tell you a story. The numbers will tell you a story that will allow you to build out. You can actually write your story of your business and be like, well, in January, it's like if you think about the seasons of your business each year, you'll be able to figure out what seasons are what for you. What is the season for growing? What is the season for resting? What is the season for planting? What is the season, what are all those seasons for your business in the 1 year mark? And once you know that, you will then feel so much more in control, because it's almost like you and your business have developed a new relationship where you're now talking to each other and your business is telling you what it needs and you get to give it back, right? And now it's a symbiotic thing that you're working through together, right? That's the key, instead of you throwing things at your business and hoping things will work. Sophia says, I had some great business ahas last night while watching the 9 Lives of Ozzy documentary. I probably should have written them down. Dude, I always do that. I forget to write things down. What I want to recommend is write down what you can now. And then as you think of them, just write them down. Like, they'll come to you as you're meditating and doing other things. Just write those down as you get them. But also, do not discount the value that it has, the value of simply thinking those thoughts has. Okay. So for those of you guys who forget to take notes, like I often do, one of the things that I've discovered is that you don't always have to take notes. If you have an idea, do something to just get it in your head. Like, so I might say something like, creating a buffer is really important in order to have a stable business, because then I can offset my low months with my high months money. Okay. I just said it out loud. That's it. Done. That will at least let myself hear it. Cause if you hear it just in your mind brain, it's not super loud. You say the words out loud. You now said it. You've also heard it. So now you've got it back in. Okay. Then it will kind of permeate. It does it anyway, whether you say it out loud or not, but saying it out loud helps. It's going to be in your subconscious. So what's happening right now, and this is actually really cool stuff. You thought the thought last night, so it's already there. It is now permeating into your subconscious and it's percolating. Over time, as you continue to practice this behavior of thinking about your business in this way, it will start to create solutions subconsciously without you realizing, that will come out in your dreams. In 5 weeks, when you're trying to brainstorm something, it'll come out then. And you'll be like, oh my God, that's what I thought in the Aussie documentary. Give yourself just simply doing the work, thinking it, and then giving yourself time to acknowledge it. Yes, I just thought this thought. This is important. I'm letting it marinate. I'm just going to let it percolate down, and then I'll work through it. It will work through your system and come back out again. Sometimes you'll have to hear it or learn the lesson 3 or 4 times before it regurgitates out to a point where you remember it and you won't forget it, right? Because I have many things I've learned many times, and then I forget, and I learn and I forget, and I learn and I forget, and then I learn and I don't forget, right? It's each time it goes in, it just percolates in and just gets stronger and stronger. And eventually it sticks. And when it sticks, it then comes out from me, right? And now I produce that for you guys. So the buffer thing, for example, I thought I learned that lesson like 4 times. And then when I finally learned it 2 years ago, and I'm like, I learned this lesson. I know this lesson like really freaking well. Now I just share it with you guys because it's part of who I am. But it took 2.5 years for it to become part of who I am, right? It didn't just become who I am, right? So give yourself time to become the person that you want to be. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be today. Just start thinking in that direction. Your mind, body, and spirit will follow. All right, guys, this was amazing. Enjoyed it so much hanging out with you guys today. This is such a this is such a powerful, powerful life. Such a powerful idea. So I would love for you to like really marinate on it. Come back to me with any thoughts or questions that you have. If you are in the squad, let's talk about this in the squad. Specific questions, specific answers. Let's do that. Because this is where this is one of those big knots in your business back that if you massage it out, oh, good things are coming. Good things are coming. Okay, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to see all y'all tomorrow at 10 a.m. live right here. We're going to be doing the S&M show with me and my sister, Syra Valley. Yes, I will see her and you tomorrow. All right. Have a great day. Ta-ta-da.